I got one question.
Okay.
If the WWE called you back to be a trainer for NXT, would you go?
Probably, but I think that's highly unlikely. Yeah, no.
Hey, you never know. Anything, like I always say, anything can happen in wrestling.
Well, you're right, but I pissed off some people.
That's not good.
No, it's not good, but I think at the time, once again, I'll take full responsibility for calling the boss an asshole. And you just can't do that in the corporate world. But it's really how I was feeling at the time, and I was going through again. There were issues happening, and I could read the writing on the wall. But again, there's circumstances that happened that I wasn't going to change either way.
Now, when you were there for quite a while, training The Rock, Kurt Angle, and those type people, and you were there for a very long time, and then you left, and I guess that's when Bill DeMott took over, and then you came back again. Now, was it the same circumstances the first time you left? Did you know somebody got angry with you? Or?
Yes. Yes, because again, my loyalty was to the company. But at the same time, sometimes when you see something that you don't agree with and you speak up, that's what I thought I was doing. But it was perceived as otherwise. And the second time was I could see the writing on the wall when things were happening, and I told people around me things are happening. And when you get a new administration, they want their people in anyway. John Laurinaitis hired me. Well, Jim Ross hired me the first time. John Laurinaitis hired me the second time. I was there when JR was there. Laurinaitis took over. Laurinaitis fired me. Laurinaitis hired me back. And then Triple H took over, and the whole system changed. See, they talk about the Performance Center. It would have been great if we had the Performance Center too, but that's not the way the system was set up. The system was set up where it was under Florida Championship Wrestling, Steve Keirn. Now it's under WWE, where everybody is covered under WWE. So it wasn't set up that way when we were there. So Hunter set up this Performance Center, his way of doing things. More power to them. And they're going to succeed because they have great trainers. They do have great trainers. I can't take anything away from it right there. But it was set up differently, and that's the guidelines we had to go by. Laurinaitis wasn't the son-in-law, he was the family, so his hands were kind of tied. Keep the budget down, keep the budget where it is. Well, Hunter doesn't have those handcuffs. He can do what he wants, and that's great. So I'm happy for the guys. I really am happy for the guys. I'm happy for everybody down there because I love the business and I love to see people succeed. And I wish I could be a part of it, but I wasn't. So I live and live.
Now, with the Performance Center, you're talking about how they changed everything. They have so many rings in one room. Do you think that takes away from does that distract people when they're standing around one ring and something else is going on?
I haven't been there, so I don't know how the acoustics are, and I don't know how far apart the rings are. I've seen pictures, so if they're closer together, yeah, that could be a distraction. But if they're far enough apart, and it's big enough, from what I've seen, the rings are far enough apart, that they're okay with hopefully not being as distracted. But yeah, I think that would be a distraction. I always found that to be the case when you had 3 and 4 rings so close together. But I don't think that's the case. I think they're far enough apart. But again, I haven't seen it in person. So
now, getting back to you, what do you feel like is your biggest accomplishment in your whole career?
I think just being in and around the business as long as I have, and being able to train some of the guys who have gone on to have great careers. I didn't have to, it wasn't all me, trust me, it wasn't. I never have said that. But I'm just happy to be a part of that, and I think that's what I'm more proud of than anything. Just being able to be the first developmental trainer and make the system work, because it did work. And anybody who says it wasn't working, look at the stars that were produced. So you can say it all day long, but the facts dictate what really happened.
Now, who would be your favorite person, well, we see some of the most successful, but who would be the person that really absorbed it so quickly and you really enjoy training?
I don't know if there's just one guy or one girl, but I think Kurt Angle was a guy who really shocked me because he was an amateur wrestler, a gold medalist, and such an intense guy that when he started learning, he really learned fast. And he was a guy who really took to this and understood what this genre is. And but there was a lot of guys like that. And too many. I can't just name one guy who was my favorite.
Okay. So you trained The Rock. Was he naturally gifted? He just got it right off the bat?
Yeah, but Rock had been wrestling a little bit. He came in from Memphis after being there maybe 9 months. He came in summer of '96, August 1996, to get him ready for Survivor Series. And he had already been working for him. He just fine-tuned him. And I had some of his first matches on the road for WWE. But he had a gift. You knew you could not. There's no way you can say he's going to be this big star. But he definitely had something. He was a great person. He was a great guy. He was definitely sure of himself. But he had every right to be sure of himself because he was that guy.
And what, if any, you may not have any, but if any, what would be a regret or something you wanted to do differently in your career?
I sure wouldn't get married the first time. I mean, that pretty much, yeah, I wouldn't have got married. I mean, I would have played the game differently because it's one of those things you learn either right off the bat or later on or never at all. I learned a little bit too late about this really is a game, it's a business. But life is a business, life is a game, and it's all about how you play it. I would have played my hand a little bit differently. If I would have only known then what I know now.
Right.
We can't look back and say, gosh, what if? So I mean, I think just staying single and going to Atlanta, staying at the Falcons Rest, and doing things that I should have been doing back then. I just didn't do.
Okay. And the final question is, when it comes to your legacy, what is one thing you want everyone to remember about you?
That I was a good trainer, that I treated everybody fair, and I think it did. I think it was actually more than fair, because if you had a problem, you came to me and tried to help instead of trying to say gotcha. And that's what I hope. Just that I did the best I could do and help train people and help people. I know a few guys who still call me and ask for help and advice. So that's about all I can ask for.
Okay. All right. Well, this has been an interview with Tom Pritchard, and we just want to thank you for joining us.
Well, I want to thank you for letting me join you. It's great.
Okay, go ahead. I'm Mike Faison, and this is Top Rope Reality.
All right, here we are at the Brad Armstrong Memorial. We're talking to Mike Faison. Thank you for joining us. All right, a couple of questions. When did you start watching wrestling?
When I was very young, maybe about 2 or 3 years old, when I'm watching Hulk Hogan and Sting and guys like that.
Okay. And who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
Oh, I had a bunch of them, say The Undertaker, Luger, Ron Simmons, Sting, guys like that. Just had a lot of guys that I watched.
Okay. And how many years have you actively been wrestling?
A little over 4 years now.
Okay. And who trained you to wrestle?
A lot of people along the way.
Okay.
Different guys on the Gulf Coast.
All right. Who would your dream opponent be?
Dream opponent, probably what the street over with now, right? The Undertaker or Triple H or Shawn Michaels.
Okay. And when your career is over with, what would you want your legacy to be?
Just to be remembered as giving the best show that I can give.
Okay. And a few word associations for you. Edge.
Very talented superstar.
Okay. And Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode is pretty good.
All right. And Kurt Angle.
I like the style, that cheap style.
Right.
Olympic style is pretty good. It was very talented.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you joining us, Mike Faison, for this interview. Good luck with your match later on.
Thank you.
I'm the future DJ Pringle, son of WWE Hall of Famer Paul Bear, and you're watching Top Rope Reality.
All right, here we are with DJ Pringle. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, definitely, I appreciate it.
Just a few questions for you. When did you start watching wrestling?
When did I start watching wrestling? My first memories of wrestling was in the sportatorium days in world class. Of course, my father, Percy Pringle, everybody knows, WWE Hall of Famer Paul Bear. That's where he started. was in world class. That's where he was well known. And I was actually born in Dallas. So we lived there for about 3-4 years. And I actually took my first steps in the sportatory brand.
Oh, wow. Who's your favorite wrestler growing up around the business?
Of course, Undertaker. Oh, yeah. Of course, it was Daddy and Undertaker. So just looking up to him. But now looking back as a professional wrestler, of course, Terry Gordy, Ric Flair, The Undertaker, Bret Hart. Those guys that paved the way for us to do what we love.
Okay. And how long have you actively been wrestling?
I'm going on, actually, in September, this will be my 10th year of wrestling.
Okay. And who trained you to wrestle?
I started started in my dad's territory, which is called Gulf South Wrestling out of Mobile, Alabama. Marcel Pringle, which is our wrestling cousin, my dad, Hardcore Bob Holly, Eon Flex, and Ricky Rocket were my main trainers.
Okay. And out of everyone you know in the business, who would your dream opponent be?
My dream opponent? It's hard to say. You really can't say who you want to wrestle. Now I would love to do something with Ric Flair. Of course, you ask anybody, it's always Ric Flair. But as a little kid, I always, like I said, I always looked up to The Undertaker and always wanted to get in there with him and have a match.
Okay, and just a little extra question. We know you were at the Hall of Fame for your dad and everything. What was your experience being there and just the whole atmosphere and everything?
It was one of the greatest feelings in the world. Just something he deserved for a long time, and it's sad that he's gone now. And they took care of us, but the whole experience was top notch.
Okay.
Let me ask one question.
Yeah.
On with your father, Paul Bearer, did you have the input on what Punk did, with the Ashes, supposed to be with the Ashes over the Undertaker and them? Was that part of your input, or was that just WWE by itself and you had no input?
They asked us for permission for everything like that, but the first promo that Punk ever did with the Undertaker, Punk did not want to do it. He came up to us while we were eating catering, and he said, "Look," he's like, "I don't feel comfortable doing this. So what would y'all like me to do?" He's like, "Well, we told him do whatever you want to do," and he said, "Well, here, you write my promo for me." So the first promo he ever did when he said that I'm sorry for your condolences. My condolences to Paul Bearer and your 20-1. That was my idea. I wrote that whole promo for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. And a few word associations. Samoa Joe.
Cameron Frost.
Okay. Let's see. John Cena.
Garbage.
And your last one would be The Undertaker.
Legend.
Okay. All right. This has been DJ Pringle, and we thank you for joining us.
Definitely.
You're here with the supernatural Aaron Hart. You're watching Top Rope Reality.
Here we are at the Brad Armstrong Memorial Show, and we are joined by Aaron Hart. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just got a few questions for you. Wanted to know when you started watching wrestling. What's your first memory of wrestling?
Oh man, first memory. I think I was about 7 years old, and I was over at my grandma's house one day, and I turned on and saw some old WCW stuff, and I was like, "Hey, this is pretty cool." And then, a couple of weeks later, I ended up getting introduced to my best friend that I was friends with my whole life, and he had a bunch of cool, wrestling action figures, and from that point on, it was like, this is what I'm going to do one day.
Okay. And who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
As funny as it sounds, my favorite wrestler growing up was Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
I was a huge Shawn Michaels fan.
So a heart that likes Shawn Michaels. All
I
right.
love Shawn Michaels.
All right. And how many years have you actively been wrestling?
I've been wrestling professionally for 13 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 13 years. Got my start in Houston, Texas. Worked around the Texas circuit for a while, and ended up in North Carolina, and worked North Carolina for a good little while, and then about 2010, I made my way down to Florida, and just kind of went from there ever since.
Okay. And who trained you to wrestle?
My original trainer was Tugboat Taylor, Houston. And then when I started getting on the road, Rodney Mack actually took me under his wing. And finished up everything with him.
Okay. And what was your experience with Rodney Mack?
Oh yeah, I mean he was great. We actually met each other at a show. We kind of started talking and bouncing ideas off of each other. Had a great match, and he looked at me and said, you've been doing this for a while, and I see a couple of little things that we can polish up. So let's come on the road with me. And so we went on the road and got me all right where we needed to be, and ever since it's been an uphill battle.
All right. So, out of everyone that's ever wrestled, who would your dream opponent be?
Living or dead?
Either one.
Either one.
Either one.
Oh man, dream opponent. Owen Hart for sure.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And when your career is over, what would you want your legacy to be?
I want people to know that I went out there and every injury that I've had, every dollar that I've spent getting from place to place, everything was very selfless. This wasn't about me getting over it, because I really didn't care. Well, I did, of course, but I didn't care what the road took me, where the road took me. What I cared is that every night somebody went home and said, man, that Aaron Hart guy, he was cool. So just my name to last with somebody, videos, interviews, just to have a legacy in the professional wrestling business is good enough.
Okay. And a few word associations for you. Let's see. What do you think about Cesaro?
Cesaro, amazing.
Okay.
Talent, personified.
All right. And Bullet Bob.
Bullet Bob, legend and opportunity giver. He's helped me out so much with being in Florida. Amazing.
Okay. And last but not least, what do you think about Sting?
Sting. Immortal.
Okay. All right. This has been our interview with Aaron Hart. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it.